Texas. Even a nice batch moving through San Antonio right now, pushing off to the north and northwest side. We're going to analyze this, time it out for some communities downstream, look to the tropics and how much rain has fallen.
Live from KSAT 12. The 6 o'clock news starts right now.
Finally, rain in the Alamo City. Let's take a look outside live right now with our Southside live cam overlooking the city skyline.
Dark skies out there. We had a good downpour move through the downtown area about 15-20 minutes ago. Last time we saw measurable rain about July 23rd, nearly 1 month ago. Adam?
Yeah, we really needed this, and this is exactly what we were looking for. I mean, obviously, I wish there was more to go around, but this is better than nothing. And this last little hurrah from these downpours that are moving through San Antonio and even into New Braunfels as well. And actually, New Braunfels, that's where we have most of the lightning, right up I-35, closer to New Braunfels. And this is headed to the northwest at about 35 miles per hour. Let's give you an ETA here. Canyon Lake, you could expect it shortly after 6 o'clock. We'll say 6:15 p.m. Canyon Lake, and this is also heading into Smithson Valley as we speak. Smithson Valley, you have the light rain right now. It's going to intensify soon. Garden Range, the heavy rainfall, Garden Ridge, that's pushing to the northwest toward Bulverde. It's starting to split up a little bit here right around Stone Oak. So Stone Oak's missing it just a little bit along 281. Then you get to the far northwest side of town, especially SeaWorld all the way around to UTSA. Along and within 1604 there, between 410 and 1604. And this is all tracking to the northwest. So we can, this heavier batch here, I know Bernie and parts of Kendall County has some moderate to heavy rain, but this heavier batch, that's headed to the northwest. And let's give that times. And I'd say about 6:30 p.m. Bernie area. Anyway, there's more shower activity off to the west, and this is where it's been more consistent and persistent. West of I-35 and along parts of Highway 90, this is where it's the real good continuous soaking rain that just changes in intensity over the hour, and that's what we'll continue to see. But the back edge of this is already through I-35. We'll continue to have some of these stray showers later this evening after sunset and even overnight. A few isolated showers, just these little straggler showers are back here. But generally speaking, come sunset, most of this action is going to start to wrap up, with the exception of right along the Rio Grande, and our rain chances fall off after dark. A look at how much rain has fallen and where, along with an update on the tropics, what systems are out there, and much more in just a bit.
Thank you, Adam. We want to get you to an update now on a multi-structure fire over on the city's west side. This is happening along Buena Vista Street near West Commerce and South Pinto. San Antonio fire crews called out there just before 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Sky 12 got there to find heavy smoke in the air. We had crews on the ground as well, where you can see at least one structure was burned. Right now, we don't know what caused the fire. According to the city's development services website, this property is listed as vacant and or overgrown. We're waiting for an update on from San Antonio Fire Chief Charles Hood. We'll bring you that information as soon as it comes in.
New at 6, we have new information tonight on a drive-by shooting that happened last week over on the southwest side. The 17-year-old who was shot has died from his injuries. The medical examiner confirming Julian Jr. Robledo died 2 days after being shot outside of his home. This happened last Wednesday in the 2800 block of Moss Circle Drive. SAPD says Robledo and his mother were outside of the home when a silver sedan drove up and started shooting. So far, no arrests have been made.
A gun fired on board a crowded school bus in Seguin this morning. Thankfully, none of the 37 elementary school students on board that bus were hurt. This happened around 7:30 this morning as the bus was pulling into the parking lot of Jefferson Elementary. Seguin ISD says the student did not threaten anyone with that handgun. The gun fired into the back of a seat where a metal plate in that seat stopped the bullet from hitting anyone.
I think now, as a result of this incident, we are going to put in place new measures on our buses and enhance the level of training that we provide. So we're going to continue to fine-tune the learning that is in place for our transportation drivers, and a lot of our buses have safety monitors to ensure that they are equipped with the skills and the knowledge to be able to respond and take proactive measures.
Seguin police say it's unlikely the child will face any charges due to age limitations. They say that student, though, remains off campus and the child's mother has been interviewed. The Seguin police chief says it is possible someone will face charges from making a firearm accessible to a child to child endangerment.
The largest school district in the San Antonio area officially starts classes next Monday. Northside ISD welcoming 102,000 students this year to more than 125 campuses or programs. It is a massive number, and school safety is once again top of mind as students head back. RJ Marquez sat down with NISD's police chief to discuss the changes this year to campus security.
Northside ISD is growing by the day, and so are concerns about student safety. With more than 120 campuses, NISD is making several security changes this year.
Campus officers that will be checking elementary campuses every day. We have 2 officers on every high school, 1 officer on every middle school.
Those changes include bullet-resistant security lobbies and single point of entry at every elementary school. Plus, high school students must now have their IDs visible.
We have panic buttons that's being installed at every Northside school campus that will automatically feed into our police dispatch and lock all the exterior doors.
We're inside the police department's communications center. So this is a hub right here for NISD police to coordinate and communicate about a potential safety risk at any one of their campuses. There are also more than 9,000 surveillance cameras that police can get direct access to monitor any sort of safety threats on any one of their campuses in an effort to keep their staff, teachers, and students safe.
The communication center is also a valuable tool for social media threats.
We also have filters and scrubs, through our technology here at Northside, that we get alerts when certain things are mentioned. We take every threat serious, and we follow up on every lead.
Northside is also looking to install O2 sensors for vaping, and throughout the school year, we'll begin to number all of its exterior doors so officers can respond faster to an emergency.
We don't want that outside element coming into our schools. We have 355 square miles of school district, and that takes a lot of folks to perform the duties that we need to perform.
RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
Of the hundreds of dogs put down every month, these were 2 that didn't have to be.
Faced with a flood of strays and other animals they need to take in, the city of San Antonio's Animal Care Services euthanizes hundreds of animals every month, most often simply just to make room. But Garrett Berger tells us 2 dogs did have somewhere to go.
This wary black dog was Bandito, and he was supposed to be safe. Picked by Stacy Walker's group, Hunters Hope Dog Rescue, to be fostered out.
And then I get a call from ACS that our dog had been euthanized. And as much as I'd like to be angry, because many times I am, I really just wanted to cry.
ACS says it's not a common mistake, but it did also happen 9 days earlier to a female named Babe.
Hi, babes. Hi, babe.
Babe was also euthanized, even though, like Bandito, she also had a hold on her. ACS Director Shannon Sims believes it was another rescue group.
For both of these animals, that communication process broke down.
Sims says the request to hold the dog get entered in at one side of the ACS campus, while euthanizations happen on another. The euthanization specialist is supposed to review animals' notes first to ensure there isn't such a hold.
The word either didn't get to the specialist or the specialist didn't clearly review the notes. That's the part that we're currently investigating.
Bill Walker thinks ACS should already know what the issue was. She also doesn't want to, quote, crucify them.
I'd like it to be presented as a perspective of where it could be an education and a learning experience of what needs to be fixed and done.
Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Now, the dog's deaths also come amid a controversial change to the department's euthanization procedure, but then the reversal of that change. In the same social media post Monday night in which it announced Babe and Bandito's mistaken euthanizations, ACS said it had begun not accepting holds for animals that had already been sedated ahead of being put down. ACS says these requests often were not relayed until staff had already put an animal down, leaving staff carrying a heavy mental toll. However, in the past hour, the department announced they are not making that change after all, after talks with city leadership. Sims told us earlier in the day today that Babe and Bandito's deaths were not related to that new procedure.
Here's a quick reminder that it's time to get your tickets for this year's KSAT Pigskin Classic. They are on sale right now. Just use your phone to scan that QR code. You'll see all of the ticket options. It kicks off on the 25th, followed by our triple header on the 26th this Saturday.
And our KSAT community team will be there at the Alamo Dome this weekend for the Pigskin Classic. They'll be collecting donations for the San Antonio Food Bank during all 4 of those games. You can scan this QR code right now to make a donation, or you can head to KSAT.com to see the full list of the items the food bank says they need most. A new beginning in a city with a new city council and momentum. Those were comments from Mayor Ron Nierenberg today in front of business leaders from across the city.
Max Massey joined the North San Antonio Chamber's City Vision event to hear from the mayor and to hear about the general mood of the local business climate.
So it's a new beginning for us all.
And as we start building these new technologies and these new opportunities for the city, we're positioning ourselves to be global leaders.
Jim Perschbach is the president and CEO of Port San Antonio, a campus that has more than 80 businesses, employs 18,000 people, and generates more than $5 billion in local economic activity.
Up on the north side, what the Spurs are doing at the Rock is really impressive with the Human Performance Institute. Over on the east side, you've got Velocity, Texas.
Business leaders and owners here at the City Vision event, they're seemingly bullish on the San Antonio economy, and today they gathered to hear from the mayor and new leaders.
I think it's important that we on City Council include the business community in all the decisions we make, right? Where do we invest our dollars? How best to create jobs?
One topic the business community wanted to discuss, the city charter.
We want to amend the charter to adjust potentially compensation, term limits. Right now, the city manager is limited to 8 years, so we'd like to see that amended.
The mayor did say that he wants to take a comprehensive look at the city charter after the budget is done. That being said, there is a general sense of optimism for the local business climate here in San Antonio, but of course, with everything going on around the country, there may be some headwinds.
Inflation is a real concern.
Danny Zimmerman is the co-founder of Clearly Zimmerman Engineers and says although Texas and San Antonio are on a seemingly good path, he does see some issues firsthand.
We've seen a lot of deals get put on the shelf or go away altogether simply because of the rising interest rate market.
Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
Take a look at your evening commute on this Tuesday. As you would imagine, slow going out there, at least in the downtown area at I-10 and Frio after those rains move through. Folks are heading home, but just a little bit slow tonight. We'll be right back. Looking ahead to 10, game day almost here as we get ready for the KSAT Pigskin Classic this weekend. We sit down with a former champion from one of the participating schools. Tonight, why this Somerset superfan who now lives in Houston is traveling all the way to the Alamo Dome to catch the action. That story and more tonight on the Night Beat. KSAT getting its own insight into what's happening on the ground in Maui. At 5, we told you about a local restaurant manager who previously lived in Lahaina.
She connected our Courtney Friedman to a friend of hers who also has San Antonio connections. He's been in Maui since the fires began, leading local recovery efforts. And he says you can help, and not just by donating.
You can only compare it to a war-ravaged, war-torn city.
Respected Maui businessman and philanthropist Garrett Marrero has lived part-time in Maui for at least 20 years. He was there during the fires.
We saw this glow over the mountain.
He owns Maui Brewing Company and several restaurants and says everyone in his business and friend circles survived.
They said 136 homes lost. All teammates accounted for. However, there are some we know that did lose family members.
His businesses were spared, so he immediately cleared them out for those in need.
Literally personally handing cases of steaks and burgers and chicken, and so that they could barbecue because there was no electricity.
The group's efforts turned into a full-blown supply chain operation with a daily convoy to West Maui.
We were the National Guard for the first 3 days. I also, at the same time, was coordinating with people to get FAA to allow us to land into Kapalua because Kapalua is a restricted airport for commercial only. We received that clearance later that day. We were loading planes and flying supplies immediately.
Through social media, he's been dismantling misinformation, including rumors that supplies aren't getting through.
By Friday, Saturday, we were starting to get the way we have too much stuff. Can you slow down the supplies? Because they needed to organize an inventory.
He says the best way to help now is donate money to the vetted local organizations on the ground. He says the biggest piece of misinformation is about tourism, that Maui's closed.
Maui is open. South Maui, Central Maui, all the displaced residents, they want to be working. They want to be able to support their families. And we are highly dependent on tourism.
Late last week, South Maui resorts and condos reported they're running only 12 to 20% occupancy. Marrero says people across the island are already being laid off.
If we don't promote responsible tourism here, we will be creating our own economic disaster unparalleled in the history of Hawaii, including pandemic.
He calls it voluntourism.
Don't go to West Maui and take selfies in front of someone's burned house. Come to stay in South Maui or Central Maui. Consider serving the population in some fashion through a charitable effort.
Help offer hope to a loving community that's always welcomed visitors to their warm Maui family. Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
Marrero will be in San Antonio in a few weeks, setting up some fundraisers for Maui alongside the founder of the local Freetail Brewery. We'll let you know those details when we get more. For the list of vetted local organizations on Maui that you can donate to, you can find that and this story on KSAT.com.
Back here at home, we are not only getting a break from the heat today, but also some much needed rain.
It's beautiful to see, Adam.
Yeah, it's been a beautiful sight this afternoon and early evening, but the rain chances will be falling off pretty quickly here over the coming hours. Notice by 8 o'clock, we're down to 20%. 9 o'clock, 10%, and we stay at 10% for the rest of the night. And actually into tomorrow afternoon, we still have a 10% chance an isolated shower or storm could pop up. But let's talk about what's happening out there at the moment. We've got the heaviest downpour with a lot of lightning and thunder moving through Comal County, very drought-stricken part of our area. This is very good rainfall. It's just moving fast, which will limit the accumulation potential here. This is right along 46, and if you're in Smithson Valley, Startsville, and even Startsville, this is just about to really pick up in your neighborhood. The rain's about to come down, and it's going to be coming down at a really good rate, some very heavy rainfall. Let's actually look at the rainfall rates within this thunderstorm that we have. You look at the purples, and the rainfall is 7 inches an hour. Too bad it's not going to last an hour. It's probably going to last about 15, 25 minutes, but some very heavy rainfall in here. This is all pushing off to the northwest and approaching 281. We also have some heavy downpours farther south, cross over the Cibolo Creek, get into Stone Oak, northeast side of San Antonio, just outside of Bracken and Garden Ridge, and even within 1604 there, stretching back to Hollywood Park and Hill Country Village. Just some lingering back end activity. I say back end because let's put this into motion, and you see how quickly it's moving westward and moving east and moving out of town. But we're going to look at this batch right here. And that batch of heavy rain is headed into Kendall County in a pretty drought-stricken part of our area. So let's just say that continues on its track, and assuming it hits Comfort, you could get that by 7 p.m. That's assuming it stays on that trajectory. Comfort at 7 p.m. for that. Otherwise, off to the west, that's where we have some of the more consistent rainfall today. It's starting to break up, but it's still good soaking rain, but starting to see the back edge of the organized rain move through. Most persistent rain, especially Maverick County, Kinney County, and that's headed toward the Rio Grande and Del Rio. You will get another round of this rain. Quick look at Doppler radar estimated rain totals over the last 12 hours. And look at this sweet spot. Crystal City, Carrizo Springs. Oh yeah, where you see these yellows on this screen, this always indicates 2 inches of rain or more estimated by the Doppler radar right along Highway 83. Look at that. But let's talk about some rain gauge measurements as well. Pleasanton so far, just under half an inch. San Antonio International, 0.43. That's actually it's higher than that. It's rained since then. George West, over an inch. Cotulla, about 1.5 inches. Very healthy rainfall accumulations. This is exactly what we needed. Converse, 0.4. And we're going to update those with the latest rain. But you look at the satellite and radar, you see how the center comes on shore around 10 a.m., South Padre Island National Seashore, or Padre Island National Seashore. And now this is all headed westward into the Big Bend region and parts of West Texas. So It dumped some good rain in drought-stricken parts of South Central Texas and South Texas, Rio Grande Valley. Now it's headed to West Texas with its leftover moisture, so more folks are going to be able to cash in on the leftover rain from this. Quick look at the tropics and what's left out there. We have a couple of systems, a 30 and a 40% chance of development way out in the Atlantic in Tropical Storm Franklin, which is headed due north. Nothing of note or of threat just yet. 91 our high temperature today. How about that? We broke our consecutive 100-degree day streak, but that wasn't the case for everybody. We had some triple digits out there, but much farther to the north of us in parts of North Texas where they didn't even get clouds from Harold. 77 in the morning, 98 in the afternoon tomorrow. Two days in a row under 100. Mind-blowing, isn't it? New Braunfels 101, though. Seguin triple digits. Devine 95. Bandera 98 degrees. Isolated afternoon showers and storms again starting Friday, lasting through the weekend and into next week. Just those isolated pop-up downpours are possible. 20% chance, but it's triple digits by Thursday again. 102.
All right. Thank you, Adam.
Break was nice while it lasted. All right, Mary, after 2 preseason games, the Houston Texans know they have a few things to work on.
Just a few. I mean, just to name a few. But yes, it's that third down defense, amongst other things, that need improvement. But head coach DeMeco Ryans knows what to fix. Plus, the Aggies quarterback battle is still on with the season right around the corner. Stay with us.
Football coverage brought to you by Davis Law Firm.
The Houston Texans defense is inevitably going to be under a magnifying glass this season after ranking amongst the worst in the league last season. That's a big reason why head coach DeMeco Ryans was hired. Although in the Texans' Week 2 preseason game against Miami, Houston's third down defense was exposed. The Dolphins converted on 9 of their 15 third down attempts and both of their fourth down plays. Ryan summed up 2 things that need to be improved on third downs: pass rush and coverage on receivers.
When it comes to third down, it always comes to rush and coverage. So the rush has to improve. It has to be better with the rush, and the coverage has to improve, right? When we want to play tight coverage, we have to be tight on our guys. We have to make it challenging, make the offense make a tough throw, tough catch, right, to put them on their heels a bit, and we didn't do that. The coverage wasn't tight enough, the rush wasn't good enough, and if we want to play, great on third down and get off the field, right, we have to be tighter on both ends.
Texans are next facing the Saints. Now, the Dallas Cowboys are in a tough position right now. 2 of its promising rookies suffered season-ending injuries on Saturday against the Seattle Seahawks. With Week 3 of the NFL preseason looming, Dallas has to decide if risking injury is worth finishing out its player evaluation process. Linebacker DeMarvion Overshone and tight end John Stevens Jr. both fell victim to ACL tears. So now the question is if other standouts to the likes of running back Deuce Vaughn and wideout Jalen Tolbert should take the field ahead of the regular season. On Monday in a conference call, head coach Mike McCarthy said the decision on who will play against the Raiders will depend on how the team's 2 competitive padded practices go this week. The Cowboys host Las Vegas on Saturday at AT&T Stadium for their last preseason game. Then it's time for final roster cuts where Dallas's roster will go from 90 to 53. Jimbo Fisher's Texas A&M football program is coming off of an ugly 5-3 2022 season. On Saturday, the Aggies held their second scrimmage, and it's still unknown who will be named the starting quarterback. The battle is between former 5-star sophomore Connor Weigman and veteran southpaw Max Johnson. Both had memorable moments during last year's campaign.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going. We haven't announced anything yet, but very pleased with both guys. Both guys had really good moments on the day, made big plays, made consistent plays, executing third down, made plays in the red zone, made plays in 2 minutes. I mean, and those, like I say, coming out and also coming off the goal line. How comfortable do you feel what you put on their back, when you're backed up and things like that. So, we did those things. I was very pleased. And our 2 young guys are developing very well. Henderson and Marcel, I thought, really did a nice job in how they're developing and what they're doing, too.
That battle emerged last season in response to struggles with previous starter Haynes King. King since transferred and is now the starter at Georgia Tech. That was just announced, I believe, today.
All right. Thank you very much, Mary.
Thank you.
Our KSAT Q&A with Mayor Ron Nierenberg is up next. It is time for the Tuesday KSAT Q&A with Mayor Ron Nierenberg, who joins us via Zoom, as he usually does on this Tuesday evening. Thanks, Mayor, for being here. We understand you got a bit of a power outage at your house. You're not alone. We understand some other folks do as well, probably related to the weather, though we're happy to see the rain. So I appreciate you being here.
No, glad to be with you. I'm on battery power. I thought I'd get home a little bit early, but didn't know what I was walking into. But I'm grateful that as I was passing by, crews were already out there. They're all over town dealing with traffic signal outages and everything else. So this rain is certainly welcome, but there are consequences to the amount of dry brush that's out there that all of a sudden with the winds get knocked around and also knocks down power lines.
Let's kind of stick with that theme of water here. Yesterday, we covered the story of a local school bus that sunk down in a hole created by a water main break in a neighborhood. SAWS told us that there were more than 700 water main breaks in the month of July. They're expecting more than 900 in the month of August. I was really surprised to hear those numbers. Are you having conversations with SAWS about, is this heat related? What's going on with their infrastructure to lead to that many water main breaks?
Sure. Well, and we'll start by just emphasizing the fact that we are a 300-year-old city. And so a lot of those pipes that are underground are very, very old. And so we deal with this anytime there's extreme weather, cold or hot, when there's a lot of dry ground or shifting of soils, there's breakage of those fragile pipes. And so, as you would expect, the number of calls for damaged pipes or main breaks, things like that, have gone up significantly. And as a result of the drought and now rain that potentially could shift those soils again, we expect more. So we've had an increased number of crews. We even actually have contractors out there working on breaks. Of course, they have to prioritize the worst breaks of all, the ones that are causing immediate safety issues. Sometimes that's very hard to predict because, as you saw in the case of that school bus incident, it can go from bad to worse very quickly. But I will remind folks that, we have a lot of very different, diverse soil conditions throughout San Antonio. We've seen over the past, actually last month, we saw a sinkhole develop. And in previous years, one of those caused a fatality when a car was swallowed up by a sinkhole. So there are some infrastructure repairs that obviously have to go up to the list, but they're working through it as quickly as possible. I will say, Myra, this issue of old infrastructure, fragile infrastructure, is not lost to anyone on SAWS. San Antonio was the first city in the country to work through a consent decree related to old infrastructure related to our sewer systems. Now, what we're seeing here is the water delivery side. And when I became mayor in 2017, as a ex officio member of the SAWS board, I implored SAWS leaders to make sure that we're putting more resources into replacing old water delivery infrastructure. I'm glad to say that since that time, we've accelerated the process, but this is a roughly 500, 600 square mile service area. And there's a lot of old infrastructure. And every time we see these weather events, we're going to have challenges.
Mayor, looking to the future, earlier today, you spoke to the North San Antonio Chamber. And one of the issues that you touched on was some need for changes to the city charter that you would like to tackle. For those that didn't catch your speech today, kind of talk about some of the things you're kicking around when it comes to the city charter and changes.
Sure. No, of course, the talk today was a lot about what we've been doing as a result of voters approving various measures to invest in our community, including bringing mass transit to San Antonio, our bond programs that are going to improve infrastructure, preparing our workforce of tomorrow with education. But another area of need that voters have consistently supported over the years has been incremental change to our city charter, which is now 72 years old. We are a modern city, and so those things need to be adjusted from time to time. And what I suggested today was that we need to really have community discussion on a more comprehensive approach to charter updates. And so there's a lot of things that people in our community have discussed for quite some time now. The number of council districts, potential council terms. I've brought up the need for things like an independent ethics officer oversight that doesn't report to the city or to the city council. Another one of those areas that's important, I believe, is the term limit that was established for our city manager and the salary cap, which really impairs our ability to seek top talent for what is the top executive position of the city. So, of course, we're not going to dictate what those changes are, but what I am going to do is form a committee to begin those community discussions to see what eventually the public would want to vote on to update our 72-year-old city charter. This is the constitution for our city. It was and it has been continually voted on, supported by the public. And from time to time, we need to look at that to make updates in our modern world.
You mentioned mass transit. You talked about that in your address to the chamber and local business leaders today. San Antonio has been down this road before. We've talked about light rail. We've had the debate over it, the push for it, the pull against it. So what do you see as the future of mass transit in San Antonio?
Well, I see us implementing the voters' direction, which they approved in 2020 when they shifted a portion of existing sales tax over to VIA starting in 2026 to establish what will be our first mass transit system in San Antonio. It's not light rail because light rail, frankly, for a city our size and this level of density is very expensive to have the kind of impact we want to see. But it's mass transit in the sense that we're going to be putting vehicles that feel like mass transit that get from point A to point B much quicker, more frequently, more reliably. And we're going to be putting the main lines between north-south San Antonio or from north-south to San Antonio and east-west to San Antonio. The good news is the funding is already there. It's approved. We actually have Federal Transit Administration dollars supporting the project, a 60-40 split in the case of the first line, the north-south line. So this is really our charge now is to implement the community's vision. And there'll be a lot of discussion, obviously, about particular routes and things like that, and that will move forward. But mass transit is coming to San Antonio finally.
Mayor Ron Nierenberg, thanks for your time here this evening. I was hoping the lights would just pop back on live TV here, but I hope they come back on for you soon.
I'm not opening the fridge until then, but thank you very much.
We'll be right back.